The expansion has been out for about 2 weeks now and I played pretty much all the cards. So here's my, I guess like impressions if you should craft those cards or not. Keep in mind, if you want to play decks like Overload Shaman, of course you're gonna craft the cards that are beneficial for that. Just because I say the cards are gonna suck doesn't mean that you don't need them for the decks. You can think, you're an adult, you're smart, I believe in you. Starting with Death Knight. We got Cage Head, and when I played that, an Unholy Death Knight, to make the card work, I realized that you usually just win by like turn 5. Cage Head seems to be somewhat of a finishing card, but because it's a death battle, not a battle cry, the card seems pretty, I would almost say pointless, because you don't really go to 8 mana and then trigger the effect. This is gonna, Then there is Climactic Necrotic Explosion. Who thought about that word? Okay, so that's the spell, right? And I hadn't played that for the videos, so I just played that for the past half an hour. And the one time when I could play it, I realized how the random effect works. I do have lifesteal on it, so somewhat useful. I summon pretty bad static minions. I mean, a 6/2 is not bad, and a full bot of that is alright. If there's any bot clear, even just the file and a 1-cost minion or 1 health minion, everything's gone. So, random. For 10 mana, and you have to play an unspecialized Death Knight, that's what I would call it, because there's one of each rune. Nah. In Demon Hunter, I played both the Furry, the Halvaria Dark Raven, and I also afterwards played Going Down Swinging. And if you ever encounter people that just swarm the board, let's say they play Zoo Warlock, you know, those cards aren't too bad. Just that Demon Hunter is not that good, and playing Rush Demon Hunter is not that good, and having a 5 mana spell where all it does is, it might, not even guaranteed, but it might clear the board. You can just play the spell that deals 4 damage to all minions. It seems to do the same thing and it's free. So also for the Demon Hunter cards, they don't seem necessary for anything. And moving forward, and pretty much to the whole video and expansion, that's the common theme that I noticed, as in, you can play the Legendaries in existing decks, but they're not needed for any deck. I think it's a fairly good design, because you don't depend on crafting the cards, but if you have them, it doesn't hurt to include them. Speaking of Druid, Druid has 2 things. If you want to play something like a tree-focused Druid, the spell is not too bad, honestly. It focuses on that, you can summon Ancients, you can play all the other supporting cards. If you want to play that specific archetype of a class and deck, get the card. Otherwise, don't get it. If you want to have Zok Foxsnout, who makes up those names? So if you want to play that, I thought it makes the most sense if you play Questline Druid, so you get attack, armor, and then you can summon things. When I did play that, and I had the card in my hand, and I even played the side quest where you get claw spells to your hand, you could have summoned 2 additional 6/6 or 7/7 taunt minions with Zok. It's just a lot better to not play it though. So while the card itself, again, is not necessary, if you would have played it, or I would have played it in that scenario, not too bad. Just again, not needed. I like the Hunter cards a lot. The 10 mana spell, because it's tradable, it's useful. You can make it an OTK if you resurrect a single Tundra Rhino and give all your minions charge. And Mukla, it's fun. However, since then, in all the games I've played, now it's roughly 75-ish. 75 to 80. I have encountered exactly 0 people playing that. Questline Hunter is a lot better than playing those cards. And even if you play a beast-focused Hunter, you don't really play those 2. So those again are fun cards to play, and I personally like them. But, again, big if you want to play them. I like Mage a lot. So we have DJ Manastorm and Infinitize the Maxitude. DJ Manastorm, cool card. And I have the signature one, so it looks special. The effects, nice. Actually, most of the animations in this expansion, they're beautiful. So good job to whoever made them. If you want to play a big spell mage, I like DJ Manastorm a lot for that. And for any mage deck ever, you can play Infinitize the Maxitude. Again, not necessary, but fun to play. You can also play big spell mage without the cards, and you can play any mage deck without them, but it's more fun with them. I would actually give those cards like a 6 out of 10, because it makes it not just more fun to play, but they also have a pretty strong effect. Then in Paladin, Paladin is like a bittersweet thing. So Kangor, beautiful animation. The way he jumps in, you know, just looks good. Definitely my favorite deck this expansion. So fun to play. And there's so many things that you can play for Paladin and Divine Shield focused. But if you want to play a tier 1 deck, you don't play Kangor. For Starlight Groove, I like the effect so much, and the fact that that works together with the 2-mana epic spell, so you have a 2-mana 5/5, and you restore Divine Shit on your hero, that's fun, that's great design. Is it good? Nah, not really. It's kind of like when you see people outside on a scooter, on a boosted board, you know, it's fun, but you would rather have a car, you know? And if you have a car, you can have those things for fun, but the car is still better, so that's how it works. I played Priest a couple games as well. I played Combo Priest to make Love Everlasting and Heartbreaker Hadanis work. For Hadanis, I did just give this minion health, and then eventually wanted to use Divine Spirit Inner Fire again, make it a big minion win. But I also did the whole let's overheal and trigger the effect thing. I killed Coldlight Oracles, and then they had Vanish, and then I think I did 5 damage face. Card is alright, but for the one like combo that I had in mind, you will need to draw your whole deck, because you will need to play Hadanis, summon copies of that, and then use like double Circle of Healing. If you like Combo Priest, get the card, but I think it's actually free, so you probably have the card. For Love Everlasting, I like it, because if you play any Combo Priest, or even Big Priest, if you're that type of person, you get like -2 mana every turn for the rest of the game, and that is good. If you're a Priest player, Combo enjoyer, get the cards. I like them a lot. Oh, for Rogue. So I wanted to play Pogo Rogue, which, that didn't work. Horrible. Bounce around with Pogos. That would be a good combo, right? You have like 4 of them on the board, play bounce around, get them back, play them again. Wow, stats! Yeah! That's what you feel, right? That's the energy that you have within you. Yeah, this is not really a good deck, is it? If you have combos, and you play combo OTK decks, and they would have not nerfed Pillager, good card. Otherwise, yeah, just for fun. MC Blinktron. I played the card once or twice. I stopped playing the card after. It's a fun gimmick again as an inclusion, and you could play Mech Rogue for I don't know what reason, but you could. Destroying your opponent's weapon and replacing it with a microphone, where they take 1 additional damage per hit. Not bad, not viable in the meta. So if you play like friendly battles, or you want to, I don't know, give your little brother like a bad deck that they can lose with, include MC Blinktron, give it to them, and have fun. Shaman, Inza and Jive Insect. So Inza makes it so that for the rest of the game, your Overload cards cost 1 less. And then if you have Zentimo, technically, and Jive Insect, Ragnaros. Another one. So you have 3 of them for 8 mana. Cool combo. But Shudderwalk is a lot better. The parrot thing that recasts the last battle cry, a lot better than Overload Shaman. And unless you really like Questline Shaman or Overload cards, then again, the cards aren't necessary. If you play odd Questline Overload Shaman at like gold 5 or so, yeah, the cards aren't bad. For Warlock, I played Symphony of Sins. I think that was the first legendary, or one of the first that I played. That is a fun card. You have 7 different sins, you have 7 different spells that you can cast for like 3 mana each. You have that thing. Yeah, fun to play. If you play something like Arena Warlock or Control Warlock deck, it's a fun card, again not necessary. When it comes to Rin, I wanted to make Rin work so bad. I could play my own Warlock that has 40 cards and reshuffle things into my deck, destroy the opponent's deck, and for example cast this 8 mana spell. The Druid afterwards conceded, you know? That type of idea, because if you burn correct combo pieces, or you just get rid of the opponent's Druid's cards like Guff or any other thing they need for their stupid combos, you could win on the spot. But that's random. So again, just a fun card. Plus you burn your own things, so... Symphony of Sins, if you play Control Warlock, fun to play, not necessary. Rin, most likely dust. Also, for 25 or 30 euros you can buy a diamond version of that. Why? No. Rock Master Vooney. Ooh, copy minion of each minion type in your hand. All your amalgams get copied. I thought that would be good. It isn't. So Black Rock and Roll, I thought that would be good. It isn't. Moving on to neutral legendaries, we have Photographer Fizzle. Wow, take a snapshot of your current hand and shuffle it into your deck. Idea, good. I've seen the card, not once. I played the card, not once. So here's my gut feeling, that's what I want to tell you. Dust. ETC, free, keep it. POSIC Audio Engineer. Add 2 3/3 bots to the opponent's hand death rattle, summon them for yourself. I included the card in 3 decks. I drew the card 0 times. I saw it 0 times. Same gut feeling. This is probably bad. I've seen a couple decks when I net decked my rogue deck called Tony something, and Tony's the king of piracy. And if you support the Pirate Bay 1337X or the other torrent sites, which I never used before to get my editing software, yeah, this card is pretty good. Both players' decks are swapped, you draw a card, and if you want to like do some shenanigans out there, you know, if it's past 7 PM and you're still playing, you could play it and draw a bunch of cards on the opponent's deck. Ooh. Lastly, the one amalgam band. Nice idea. Yeah, so that's my overview for the expansion. When it comes to the cards that you should craft or keep, I would actually say for the best cards, based on my opinion, okay, before you get offended, I have to say it, based on my opinion, what I've encountered, Love Everlasting is pretty good for any combo priest deck. DJ Mana Storm is fun to play if you like big mage. And because I'm biased towards Warlock, as I always say, Symphony of Sins, it's a fun card. For the other ones, actually, let's take a look at meta decks together so we can see how wrong or correct I am. The site I always use is called hearthstoneDecks.net. Let's take a look at the top decks. We have Kingsman Rogue, Questline Druid, Rank 1 Legend, Tony Demon Hunter, Rin and Warlock. That is a lot of Rogue and Druid. Let's see if we have other classes. Paladin, nice. There's a Mage and even a Shaman. Okay. So, for the deck lists, we focus on the legendaries in here. So, the top rogue deck for Kingsbane doesn't have any of the new legendaries outside of ETC, which is free. Our questline Druid has no new legendaries. Our questline Tony Demon Hunter has Tony. Our Renethor Warlock has far too many cards. We have Symphony of Sins and then ETC. You know, Symphony of Sins, not bad. We get Combo Priest, we have... Aw, I thought they would have played Everlasting Love. They don't. Paladin, we have no legend. Okay, we have Mage. In Mage we have. Okay, but then in Shaman we probably, hopefully have... Do we have any new cards? The one amalgam. Wow, see? Multiple cards in here useful. So based on my gut feeling that I had, well, I was like 50% correct. Which now leads me to the following question with my knee in the frame. And that is, how do you feel about the expansion? It has been out for 2 weeks and I had fun. I played a bunch of stupid decks, just made my own versions work, played Overload Shaman and other weird things. But again, for most of the legendaries in here, those are cards that are not needed for anything. You can play tier 1 meta decks, go to rank 1 legend without any of those. And this seems more like a fun expansion than a competitive expansion. So have a good rest of the day and I will see you, metaphorically, when I stare into this camera again and hit the record button, probably tomorrow.